Hey guys, just checking the time. But I wanted to come on here just real quickly while my mom was picking up her car because she had to get the water pump fixed. Anyway, I wanted to come on here because I noticed a lot of people from JD, from Jerry, aka JD from NY206, Alex of Deluxe Man's World, and the Schleg Daddy, Jeff Siegel of OTR Central, among many, that were not too thrilled with Raw last night. I mean, there were some good moments, but not entirely. And people wonder, well, wait a minute, if this is supposed to be the start of the Heyman era, if this is the week of the Heyman Bischoff era beginning, then what did we get last night? It didn't feel like it. It's like there was maybe some moments of Heyman shining through, but not entirely. You see, I think what's going on is there's a conflicting number of reports and rumors going around that even though they are supposed to officially start this week, that basically, even though they're supposed to start this week in the executive producer roles, does not mean they have full final say just yet. In other words, even though Heyman has probably been testing the waters a bit in his role for the past couple weeks, you noticed that he hasn't had real full-on control. Now, a couple weeks ago, some would say that was a Heyman show. To me, that was for Heyman to get his feet wet in his new position. As far as Bischoff goes, Bischoff isn't supposed to be starting till around this week after Extreme Rules. Now, just because you're hired on to do something and be in charge of something doesn't mean you're automatically going to get that power just yet. You see, there's something that's known as shadowing, training, if you will. In other words, basically, Bischoff has to shadow. He has to train. He has to learn what he's going to be dealing with, and what he feels he could probably change. Because according to a numerous amount of reports, if you believe them or you don't, the real fun and the real errors of Bischoff and Heyman won't begin officially until around, at, or after SummerSlam. That time frame. SummerSlam is supposed to be August 11th. So I would suspect the go-home week, at the event itself, or the week afterwards, the Monday and Tuesday afterwards, that the real fun and the real errors of Bischoff and Heyman will begin. Now, what some people do fear seems to be coming true a little bit. Let's say Heyman does have some say. Vince McMahon could easily veto what he says. And remember, Heyman is not going to just be able to do whatever he wants la-di-da, and the same with Bischoff. Because even though Vince might be, okay, do your thing and I'll write it off and I'll sign off on it, there's somebody higher than Vince that will kind of be the final say. It's the same people that a couple weeks ago, numerous reports from numerous sources indicated were the reason certain things were happening the way they were. Why this company had such a PG product, sometimes beyond ridiculous PG product, almost G-rated. Family friendly, if you will. It's because of the shareholders, the stockholders. They love what they were getting. They loved that presentation. So even if WWE decides, hey, we want to go back and target that 18 to 36 demographic, it's going to be a lot harder than they can imagine, because the shareholders might be okay with that, but the shareholders might be, yeah, you could probably do that, but still try to keep it family friendly. So even if, like I said, Vince signs off on a lot of these ideas that are attractive, that Bischoff and Heyman might feel is attractive and might lure in that demographic, it's the shareholders that will have the final say in the end. Because if they don't like how something comes off, let's say it comes off controversial, Vince McMahon could get a call from them real instantly, real quickly, and be like, okay, we can't do that anymore. And he'll tell either Bischoff or Heyman, okay, you need to kind of tone it down. So even though this week they are officially starting behind the scenes, the real fun and the real era of Heyman and Bischoff won't start until around SummerSlam time, which is either before, at, or afterwards. The before part being the go-home week, as far as I know, or the first full week of August, as far as I know. And even so, even after that, what people have to worry about is not just Vince overruling them, vetoing anything they come up with. It's the shareholders above Vince. It's the ones that basically put the money into the company. They could say, no, don't do that again, or else we're going to take our money out and we're going to weaken the company. So even though you might see shots of Heyman and Bischoff brilliance and inspired events and ideas from last night, the Raw before, and the Raw 2 weeks ago, and even though you might see some flashes of Bischoff brilliance from tonight, mixed in with a little bit of Heyman brilliance from last week, the truth is, reports and rumors have gone around. I think JD even reported this, that things won't really start coming into fruition. We won't really start seeing true results until around, which is go home week, at, which is the event itself, or after SummerSlam, which would be the Raw and the Smackdown afterwards. So that's pretty much what's going to happen. And I know, not a lot of people want to hear that, but that's what conflicting report. That's why I'm saying that there are reports that are conflicting when reporting this, because we don't know whether or not they're telling the truth, if some of it's the truth or some of it's not. But from what I'm getting, I'm sure JD from NY206 has been getting this, and everybody else as well has been hearing something similar. Again, that's why these reports are conflicting, because you don't know who to believe, who not to believe, what's true, what's partially true, and what's not. So we'll just have to wait and see. But my suspicion, because Raw didn't turn out the way people wanted in the first official night of the Heyman era, and felt more like what we'd had before. My suspicion is what people are saying about the real fun and eras not beginning till around SummerSlam time. Maybe the first week of SummerSlam, which would first week of August, which is essentially the go-home week to SummerSlam. Or at the event itself or afterwards. I'm starting to think that's getting more true, becoming more true than I think we want to admit. So let me know what you guys all think down below. Comment if you like. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. How do you feel about this possibly being true? And I'll talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care.